Imagine exploring Minnesota's breathtaking lakes and rivers, rod in your hand, just ready to reel in your next big catch. But hold on, before you can do that, you need the golden ticket, a fishing license.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're giving you a highly structured, step-by-step roadmap for getting your Minnesota fishing license online. We'll quickly cover the lure of Minnesota fishing, how to choose the right license, the actual step-by-step online application, a breakdown of costs and exemptions, and finally, some essential rules and troubleshooting tips. Section 1, the lure of Minnesota fishing and why it actually matters. Let's get right into why securing this license is so exciting for anglers and absolutely crucial for the state.
Okay, so Minnesota boasts an incredible 4,500 fishable lakes. Seriously, whether you are chasing walleye, northern pike, or crappie, these waters offer absolutely endless opportunities for both seasoned anglers and complete beginners who are just looking to cast their very first line.
But hey, if lakes aren't really your style, no problem. You have access to a staggering 16,000 miles of fishable streams to explore. That is a massive, sprawling network of flowing water, perfectly suited for those of us who love wading right in and chasing stream trout.
Now, to put the sheer scale of this ecosystem into perspective, it supports roughly 2 million anglers every single year. That makes sport fishing a massive industry here, generating around $6 billion in direct expenditures. And the best part? That revenue goes right back into managing the state's diverse fisheries. So when you buy a license, you're directly funding the conservation of the very waters you're fishing in.
Section 2, choosing your license. Let's find the right fit. Before you jump into the online system, you really need to figure out exactly which option is meant for you.
Minnesota structures its license options based heavily on residency. So, to qualify for a resident fishing license, you must have lived in the state for at least 180 days. If that's you, you've got great flexibility with annual, short-term, and combination licenses. Now, if you're an out-of-stater, you'll need a non-resident license. Those come in all sorts of durations, from 24 hours to a full year, and there's even a really fantastic 14-day couple option if you're visiting with a partner.
And regardless of your residency, if you're planning to target specific species like trout or salmon, you're definitely going to want to pay close attention to this next part. You absolutely must add a specific terminal-issued stamp endorsement to your license to fish in designated waters. The system just issues this endorsement right onto your digital or printed license, but if you're into collectibles, you can also request the actual pictorial stamp for a small extra fee to keep as a souvenir.
Section 3, the online application. Here is your step-by-step process. Let's essentially open up the tackle box of the administrative side of things.
The state has really streamlined this whole procedure beautifully. Navigating the electronic license system is as easy as 6 quick steps. First, you initiate the process over at the official DNR portal. Second, you authenticate your identity using LoginMN, which requires multi-factor authentication, like a text or email code, just to keep your data totally secure. Third, you associate your DNR profile by linking your ID or entering your details. Fourth, you select your products, like your resident annual license and maybe that trout stamp we talked about. Fifth, you securely process your payment. And finally, credential distribution. The system securely emails you a PDF of your license, which you can easily pull right up on your smartphone.
Section 4, costs and exemptions. Let's talk fees and discounts. The crucial point now is knowing exactly what this will cost you and figuring out if you might qualify for any special exemptions.
While exact prices can obviously fluctuate from year to year, we can give you a solid baseline. Standard resident annual licenses sit right around $25, while non-resident annuals run around $45 to $50. That non-resident 14-day couple license we mentioned, that's usually around $54. And that trout stamp endorsement is $12, plus an extra 75 cents if you want the physical pictorial stamp mailed to your house.
It's also fascinating to see impartially how these fees are managed at the state level through recent legislative updates. For example, Bill HF 276 proposed modifying fees to offer reduced rates for nearly 80,000 senior anglers aged 65 to 89. Now, doing that results in a roughly $798,000 general fund transfer to cover the cost difference. This basically ensures the state's wildlife programs remain fully funded, all while adjusting the costs to make things easier for seniors.
Minnesota also has a really strong commitment to accessibility. In fact, you get completely free fishing if you are a resident under 16, a senior 90 or older, active military home on leave, a 100% disabled veteran, or if you're receiving SSI for blindness or disability. They even host Take a Kid or Take a Mom fishing weekends where licenses aren't required at all. It's a fantastic way to get people out on the water.
Section 5. Rules and Troubleshooting. What you need to know before you go. Because hey, even with your golden ticket in hand, you still have to play by the rules, and you need to know what to do if your digital or physical license runs into a snag.
The absolute most critical conservation rule to remember is this. You cannot target a species during its closed season, even if you are just planning to release it. Catch and release is simply not an excuse to fish for a species out of season. This is so vital for protecting fish populations during their most vulnerable periods. Now, what if you're buying at a physical retail agent and the printed license gets damaged? Well, the vendor's point-of-sale system actually allows for a quick reprint. They just log reasons into the system like paper jammed or out of paper, ensuring you definitely aren't charged twice for mechanical error.
On a similar note, if a transaction needs to be completely voided, say maybe the wrong license was selected by mistake, the system requires strict accountability. The physical document actually has to be marked void and physically mailed back to the DNR within 30 days for credit. It's just a secure system specifically designed to prevent fraud. All of this brings us to a really important takeaway. Obtaining a fishing license is just the beginning. Adhering to fishing regulations is essential. As a quick disclaimer, laws and regulations frequently change. You absolutely must always verify current seasons, limits, and rules directly from official Minnesota state resources before you cast your line. This ensures your adventures are both legal and ethical. And pro tip, keeping a digital copy of your license on your phone is always a smart move to make sure you're covered out there.
So now equipped with your newly acquired license and a solid understanding of how the system works, there's really only one question left. With 4,500 lakes waiting and your online license secured in just a few clicks, which Minnesota water will you conquer first? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy angling!